Shalom, it's Tahila from the Kifar with a Freestyle Friday video. And Freestyle Friday videos are an opportunity for me to talk about things that are interesting or relevant to me outside of Hebrew language. And so in this video, I am going to talk about the 5 most common mistakes that freelancers and service providers make when submitting proposals, when bidding on a job. And this is based on several years of experience that I've had both in looking for freelancers for my own work and also in looking for freelancers for various employers and contracts that I've had with different clients. And so the idea here is to tell you what the 5 biggest mistakes are so that you can avoid them and increase your chances of winning the contracts that you are bidding on. So the biggest mistake that I've seen is that people are not reading the job description clearly enough. And either they're not reading the entire thing, they just read the first couple of lines and stop, or they read the whole thing, but they're not really paying attention to the details. And the way that we can tell that people are not paying attention to the details is that sometimes in their proposal, they'll ask several questions that are clearly answered. And the issue with that is when you are applying for a position, your application needs to represent you in the best possible light because you're competing, particularly in today's world, with candidates that are literally all over the world. And so you want to make sure that you have read the posting carefully, that you are using terms and words that are in the posting. If the client includes their name or their company name in there, make sure that you look it up. Use the name. Please stop writing dear sir or madam. There's almost no reason to still be doing that. Okay, so make sure that you are reading the job posting carefully and that you are referencing as much from the posting as you possibly can. The second and the third mistake that I see, and I'm going to put them together, both have to do with pricing. One mistake is that people are pricing their bids way too high, and the other mistake is that they're pricing their bids too low. Let's start with the too high, number 2. So if the client that you are interested in has a budget of $500 for a particular job, and you submit a bid for $1,200, almost a waste of your time. Now, you as the freelancer, as the contractor, service provider, or even employee, because a lot of this applies to you as well, you know the value of the work that you are doing. So if the value of the work is truly at $1,200, but the client is only looking to pay around $500, that is not a client that you want to work with. Because generally the clients who want caviar level work on a tilapia budget are going to be the most difficult and the most annoying clients to work with because they have no concept of the amount of work that goes into what it is that they're asking, and they're going to expect top-notch service on pennies. So it's also just a disservice to you if the work is being severely undervalued, then that's not a client that you want to work with. And now if the work is fairly priced at around $500, or if that's what the client is able to pay or is looking to pay, it's again almost a waste of your time for you to submit a proposal that's double or more than double their budget, because those are the proposals that I delete without even opening. Now on the flip side of that, you have the third mistake, which is people who price too low. And this tends to be new freelancers, people who are really looking to start to build their clientele. The problem with that is that if people are pricing, let's say again with this $500 job, and you'll have bids that will come in from maybe around 400 all the way up to maybe 6, 7, possibly 800. That'll be around that range. And if you come in at $100, either one, you'll come across as someone who is inexperienced, that sort of you get what you pay for thing, because if most people are pricing it around $500, maybe a little over, maybe a little under, and you're at $100, well, what's wrong with you? Okay, so that's one thought that'll come up. Or again, you'll get that client who's looking for champagne service on a water budget, and they will get you for that $100, but then they will try to get $500 worth of work out of you. Do your research, see what the average is for other people who have your similar skills and your experiences, what they're charging. Look at the client's budget. If it makes sense, then you want to submit a proposal that's, again, either a little under their budget or a little over their budget. So I can't stress this enough. Always, always be fair to yourself. So if the client's budget is far below the value of the work, then that's not a job for you. And you should be okay with that. So the fourth mistake that I see, and this is for creatives, so graphic designers, instructional designers, curriculum writers, writers of any sort, when asked to attach samples or send samples, they send a lot of samples that are not relevant. Samples are, again, your opportunity to represent yourself and to show that you are a good fit for the project. So if a client is looking for an illustrator who can draw realistic landscapes and you send him pictures of cartoon dinosaurs, they might be great, you might be super talented, but that's not demonstrating at all that you can deliver the sort of work that the client is looking for. And so you also want to consider the client's time. Sometimes when asked for samples, people will attach like 20 pictures. I'm not opening 20 pictures because I have 20 applications that just came in this hour that I have to go through. Your first two samples should absolutely be as relevant as possible to the job. Okay, so again, if the client wants realistic landscapes, don't attach your realistic landscape as attachment number 6 because they may never open it. They may open attachment number 1, which is your cartoon dinosaurs, and decide that it's not a good fit and keep moving. And this isn't to say that if you are passed over for any of these reasons or for any other reasons, that it's because you are not talented enough or you don't have the skill set or the experience or any of that. You may be amazing. You may be absolutely fantastic and the best at what you do, and the client may indeed be missing out by passing over you. The thing is, though, that you have a very, very, very limited amount of time to demonstrate that. And so you really want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward by making sure that the samples that you attach, particularly if you're going to attach more than 2 or 3, that those first 2 or 3 samples are as relevant as possible to what it is that the client is looking for. And the final mistake that people make is that they don't proofread their applications before sending. And this is particularly damaging when you are applying for roles that have to do with writing or anything really education based, because often those are the people who will include in their applications that they have excellent writing skills and high level of attention to detail, and they're meticulous, and they will have numerous typos in their proposals. Now, just because you have typos doesn't mean, again, that you are not intelligent or that you're not qualified. You may very well be qualified. What it means, though, is that you fail to represent that in your proposal. So make sure that you are looking over your application with a fine-tooth comb. If writing is not your strong point, maybe it's not a writing related job, it's still important for you to present yourself well. So get a friend who is good at that and have them look at it, or find someone who can look over your work and give you feedback on it, because you don't want to miss out on work that you would be a rock star in because your proposal is a mess. It's also really helpful that when you first write your proposal or your cover letter or your application, whatever it is, that when you finish, take like an hour, go do something else, get away from the computer or wherever you're writing it on, and then come back and read it out loud. And there are a couple of benefits to doing that. One, when you walk away, think about, I know I'm not the only person who does this, when you have like an argument with somebody and then the argument is over and you walk away, and for like the next couple of hours, you think of all these great things that you could have said in the argument. So it's the same thing with a cover letter or a proposal, where you think that it's great and you've said everything and you've represented yourself as best as you possibly could. Walk away from it an hour or two, and things will probably come up that you can say, or really smart questions that you can ask, or things that you forgot to add in that really highlight the benefit that you would present for this project. The second part, when you come back, is read it out loud. Sometimes things that you thought made sense when you wrote it, you realize, particularly upon reading it out loud, that it doesn't make sense. And also reading out loud will help you catch those little typos or those little words that you forgot. Maybe you forgot an A here or a the there. It'll help you catch those better than if you were to just try to read it silently in your head. Okay, so just to recap, the 5 mistakes that freelancers and contractors make, and then how you can avoid them. So 1 is not reading the job description all the way or not reading it carefully. So read the job description all the way, read it carefully, take notes if you need to, personalize your proposal as much as possible. So that means if there's information about the client or the company, you want to make sure that you are looking that up so that you can tailor your cover letter or your proposal or your application specifically to that client or company. Second and third mistakes is that people price either way too high or way too low. So you want to price fairly, fairly for the client and fair for yourself. Four is not attaching relevant work samples. If you are going to attach multiple samples, make sure that the first two or three are as relevant as possible. And five, not proofreading their application or proposal. Make sure that you are proofreading, that you look over it with a fine-tooth comb, walk away from it for a couple of hours, come back, review it, give it to a friend or someone that you know is a really good writer that can help you out so that they can also take a look at it. So these are my 5 tips. I hope that they were helpful. If there are more that you have, I encourage you to share them in the comments. I think they'll be helpful to anyone who's watching and who's either getting started as a freelancer or who is looking to improve as a freelancer or a contractor. And let me know if there are other topics that you want me to cover in a Freestyle Friday video. I'm not promising to do it because there are things I can't talk about because I don't know enough about them to talk about them. But you never know. So let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next video. Later out.